So Fast Car by Tracy Chapman is this, and it was released in 1988 on her debut album, Tracy Chapman.
We wanted to take some piece of enjoyable music and discuss it, and hopefully we can have some type of valuable input for you.
You get a fast car, I want a ticket to anywhere. Maybe we make a deal. Maybe together we can get somewhere. Any place is better. Starting from zero, got nothing to lose. Maybe we'll make something. Me, myself, I got nothing to prove.
I think the first thing that I noticed, at least, is that it's not recorded to a click track. So for example, if we listen to the outro and then go back to the intro, we can hear quite a drastic tempo change.
And then there's also another tempo change in the transition between the verse and the chorus.
Yeah, I think.
And yeah, these tempo changes, they don't really have to do anything with the mastering, but as a mastering engineer, when you listen to a track like this, you kind of view it in a certain perspective, and then you're kind of ready for other things connected to this that we will talk about in a while here.
Yeah.
We can listen to the transition between the verse and the chorus.
You'll find working out, get promoted, and we'll move out of the shelter, buy a bigger house and live in the suburbs.
So here it kind of slows down a bit.
Yeah.
Then it picks up again in the chorus.
I remember when we were driving in your car, speed so fast it felt like I was drunk. City lights lay out before us, and your arm felt nice wrapped around my shoulder, and I had a feeling that I belonged. Had a feeling I could be someone, be someone, be someone.
We can also talk about what happens within the chorus as well.
Yeah, there are two key moments within the chorus. It's first when the chorus actually kicks in. That's kind of a dramatic key moment. But then there is a second one a few bars later.
Yeah, so you have a dynamic change when the chorus hits, which is very common. And then a few bars later, it will increase even more.
Yeah.
So we can listen to that.
It's like shifting gears into a...
Yeah.
So I remember when we were driving in your car, speed so fast it felt like I was drunk. City lights lay out before us, and your arm felt nice wrapped around my shoulder, and I had a feeling that I belonged. I had a feeling I could be someone, be someone, be someone.
Yeah, because this mix it's very dynamic. It's kind of keeps the raw dynamics of the performance in a way that's not that common today. It's very refreshing because you get all the power from the musicians.
Yeah, and they're kind of feeling the song while they're playing, and that is still kept. You also have to be very, if you're mastering and you have something like this. We get quite a lot of jazz in our studio. So we're dealing with recordings like that, and also more like instrumental music with very good musicians playing. And they're very sensitive to feeling and sound.
Yeah.
But if you use too much compression, you can even these like intensity differences out, and you change the feeling of the song.
Yeah.
So usually we would suggest to use compression more for shaping transients and things like that.
Yeah.
Not like you doing it to change the macro dynamics.
No.
But of course, if you use too much compression, it will show up in these key moments.
Yeah.
Yeah, so also we can say that mastering is the last creative step in the music production chain. So besides making things sound better, we also need to preserve these good qualities that are this, for example, that we're talking about here. So these key moments are usually very good qualities that we want to preserve or enhance. So the first step is to, of course, notice them, to be able to do that.
And that's also why this song is such a good reference recording, I think.
Yeah.
Because a lot of modern music is much more compressed. So it's good to have a recording that is actually more of a natural dynamics type of recording.
Yeah.
Just to remember how that sounds.
Yeah. So we can talk about how this song stands against other modern music.
Yeah.
And this is, as we said, an older recording. But there are 3 interesting versions of this song that we can compare. And we did a little graphic here.
Yep. It's the album version that we listened to, which is quite quiet. And we have the greatest hits version from 2015, which is considerably louder. It's the same recording, it's the same version, but it's mastered differently. And then we have the Luke Combs version, the cover version, that is louder than that. It's a modern production, so it's quite loud. And the numbers we see here, maybe we should say a few words about that. These are LUFS values. The LUFS value is a way to measure how loud we perceive a recording to be.
So here we have at -14, that's the loudness target for Spotify.
Yeah.
LUFS. If we would measure this in like RMS value, and you're going to have an average value of -14 dBFS, if Spotify would have a loudness target like that, then they wouldn't like consider the perceived loudness.
No.
So with the LUFS scale, you get it weighted for the frequency response of the ear as well.
Yeah.
It takes into account the frequency content of the music and what that means for how loud it seems. So otherwise on Spotify, if they would just use like some average dBFS value, then some music would sound much, much louder. But this is a way to make it a bit more even playing field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's used, the LUFS values are used quite a lot in broadcast as well to make sure that advertising and things like that on TV sounds as loud as other things.
Yeah, so it doesn't jump out too much.
That used to be a problem until they started using loudness normalization on TV.
Yeah.
And on Spotify they use a similar thing to make all music sound approximately at the same loudness.
Yeah.
So that when you listen to a quiet song and then listen to a loud song, you shouldn't need to turn the volume control.
So both the greatest hits and also, of course, the Luke Combs version there will be taken down to -14 and on Spotify and other platforms.
Yeah.
So -14 is quite a usual target.
Yeah.
But then the album version there, that will not be taken up.
No, it will not. So if something is quieter than the loudness target, then it will stay that way on Spotify and on most platforms.
Yeah. So in a playlist that will usually, that record, I don't know the peak value of that, the album version, probably 0 as well.
Yeah, it's slightly below 0. So it
slightly below 0.
Almost reaches 0 dBFS. So that's what we can see here. Here is the album version, which is have all the peaks intact. There's virtually no peak limiting on this, but the greatest hits version is more peak limited.
Yeah. If we talk about the greatest hits version and the Luke Combs version here.
Yeah, here we can see the loudness within the song. So we can see, for example, here we have the instrumental parts of the song. These are the quiet parts. And then we have the verses are kind of at the average loudness. The average loudness is the red line. But then the choruses are quite loud. They are quite a bit louder than the average loudness.
Yeah, because of all the natural dynamics this has.
Yeah.
So this is what we talked about. We want to preserve this in the mastering as well.
Yeah.
Like you can even see like these key moments sticking out.
Yeah, you can see within the choruses we have like the start of the chorus, and then we have 2 more key moments where it sort of kicks in.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah.
And then we look at the Luke Combs version that we can't really play because we didn't get the rights for that.
No.
But you can see here that it's more even.
Yeah.
It's less dynamic.
Yeah, we still have the verses at the average loudness approximately.
Yeah.
The choruses are not that much louder than the average loudness.
No, but a little bit.
A little bit louder. And we can see that the choruses of the greatest hits version, Tracy Chapman's version, is almost as loud as the choruses in Luke Combs' version, even without loudness normalization.
Yeah. Because you have the scale here in the background as well. So
Yeah.
you can, it's all it's placed in the right. But now if we do a loudness normalization.
Yeah, we have the loudness target here at -14.
Yeah.
So if we replace this image and look at how it looks with loudness normalization, then both songs are being lowered so that the average value is at -14. And then we can see that the choruses of Tracy Chapman's version is much louder than the choruses of the Luke Combs version. So if you place these two versions in a playlist next to each other, then the choruses of Tracy Chapman's version will sound much louder than Luke Combs, and actually much louder than many modern recordings.
Yeah.
Because it's quite common to have this kind of dynamic range in music nowadays.
Yeah, so maybe sometimes you want to push the level of the record because of loudness bias. If you haven't watched that video, we've made a few videos on loudness bias and what that means. But when you're in this loudness normalized world here, you actually gain advantage by having a more dynamic record. And this is not fully understood. I see this sometimes, that people don't completely understand this, even engineers.
Yeah. Because if you want your music to sound loud in a loudness normalized environment like Spotify, then you need both these quiet parts and these loud parts. Because when you have these quiet parts, then that will bring the average loudness down so that you leave room for the loud parts. And maybe we should do a video about dynamics and loudness, because there are other factors in this as well. You don't want to have too quiet parts in the song, because those will not count towards the integrated loudness, and that's a bit more complicated. Maybe we should go into that another time. So that's a good tip if you want your choruses to be really loud in a playlist and stick out.
Yeah.
Then you need these quiet parts as well to balance things out.
Yeah.
You got a fast car. Is it fast enough so we can fly away? We gotta make a decision. Leave tonight or live and die this way.
We tried to find any, but we haven't found any remastered versions of this album, apart from the songs that are on the Greatest Hits album. So that's also sort of a testament to how good this record is. It's hard to improve it.
Yeah, if we would have like a remastering, sometimes we do remasters, and it sounds this good, then you have to kind of go into preserve mode and also fix like obvious things. Like there were a few clicks. We can listen to these.
Yeah.
I like this record too much.
Yeah,
So I just would be thrilled to find something to do, almost. But in the Greatest Hits, these are still there.
Yeah, you can see if we can spot these. There was one over here, I think. Yeah.
Still ain't got a job. Now we're
And so you can argue for that these are kind of part of the sound, or you can just want to take them away.
Yeah.
Like these big ones, I would really prefer them out. It's a judgment call as well.
It is.
got a job. Now working the
I think it's nice to remove them.
ain't got a job. Now still ain't got a job. Now working.
Yeah.
It's these kind of small details that remove the distractions.
Yeah.
So you can just fully concentrate on the vocal.
Yeah, and also if there are a lot of these clicks and sounds in the vocal track, then it will be like a layer almost on top of everything, and you will get a much clearer sound if you take them away.
Yeah.
I know things will get better. You'll find. I know things will get better. You'll find work.
And like in this case, when it's so good already, like you go for the last %.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this kind of video.
The next time I think we're going to do some kind of metal.
Yeah, that's music we also really enjoy.